Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ness and I'm about to start my final semester of law school. In this video, I'll be taking you through absolutely everything that I do to prepare for a new semester. I fine-tuned this process over the course of 5 years of law school, so I really hope that it helps you out. This process applies to every degree, but I will add a few pointers for law students here and there without the video. And so without further ado, let's get into the video. To prepare for a new semester, all I have is my laptop. I plan absolutely everything on my laptop. I'm not really a physical kind of, getting products and stuff kind of gal. I literally bring my laptop and my drink bottle to class and that's all I need. I'm pretty much in and out. I've been following a 3-step process, which includes calendaring out and time blocking everything. So that includes my timetable, my weekly schedule, my study timetable. Second part is an accountability tracker. So I've been creating an accountability tracker on Excel for so many years, and pretty much it keeps me on track of every single subject, every single topic and exam. And this year I've actually upgraded and I'm going to be doing that on Notion, so I'll take you guys through a tour. And the final step is just organizing everything. So having all my folders set up, having all my notes templates set up, and also just generally taking you guys through some organization and practical tips that will really help you in your classes. The first thing that I do when preparing for a new semester is plan out my weekly schedule and my timetable. Before semester starts, your university will allocate you a timetable. What I like to do is I like to import this uni timetable into my Google Calendar so that it overlaps with my current personal calendar. That really helps me to plan everything around uni, especially since attendance is pretty much mandatory for my classes. And so I actually have to block out work and study and recreational things around my classes, which is a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. If your university doesn't actually provide you with a URL to add as a new calendar into your own Google Calendar, what I recommend doing is just manually adding it in. And what I do recommend is adding each class as an event and setting it as a recurring weekly event or bi-weekly event depending on when your class is. And so once I import my timetable into Google Calendar, what I like to do is I like to create a weekly routine around my uni timetable. This is really helpful for me because I do balance my businesses alongside university, and I also want to schedule time to meet my friends and spend time with my family as well. And so what I usually do at the start of every semester is I write down the main tasks that I usually need to get done each week with respect to work, with respect to uni, and also with respect to like socializing and family time. So for example, one day I might dedicate to my agency. So that might just be agency emails, negotiations and strategy, and I'll allocate a 6-hour time block for that 2 times a week, and I'll set that as a recurring event every single week. And so that around university, I know I already have 12 hours of work time scheduled and that I can't really move around. Another example might be outside of your actual class time, you actually need to have time to revise and to study. And so for me, I usually like to spend 3 to 4 hours per subject per week, and so that's 12 hours in total. And what I like to do is block those 3 to 4 hours in every single week and set it as a reoccurring event. So for example, I might have real property law, I want to dedicate 3 to 4 hours a week to that. So I set a time block every single Tuesday evening, and I set that as a recurring event for every single Tuesday. And I know that it might seem restrictive at first when you're like, okay, but if I have everything already time blocked for every single week, it seems super not flexible. What if I have something unforeseen pop up? And my routine is that every single Sunday, I sit down for 30 minutes to an hour and I plan out the week ahead. And what I do then is I look at what I have planned ahead, if there's any unforeseen event, anything that I kind of didn't predict, and then I time block and I move things around accordingly. So that's something that is really important for me to do. Thirdly, what I usually do is I create a calendar for important dates in the university calendar. And so what that is exam periods and also break periods. And what I like to do is I like to look into the unit of study outline. I'm not sure if your unis call it the same thing, but pretty much what it is, it's like a course outline. It has every single topic that the course will cover. It will have the assessment structure and also the assessment periods. And what I like to do there is I specifically look at the assessment section and I time block out, and then I add the specific dates onto my calendar, onto that separate calendar. What I really recommend doing when you're time blocking out your exam dates is setting reminders 1 month in advance, 3 weeks in advance, 2 weeks in advance, and 1 week in advance. This is super helpful because exam blocks always creep in way too fast. You think that you have 6 weeks left, but then you actually have 3 weeks left, and before you know it, exams are in 2 weeks and you're cramming, which is not the best behavior, because I always do that and I always stress out way too much. So being very organized and staying accountable throughout the semester is honestly the best way to go. And so that is what I usually do. I block out all my exam dates. I set reminders up to 1 month in advance, and that's been super helpful for me and has saved me so many exam blocks, because I think that it's like six weeks away, but it's actually like a month away, which is super helpful. And to the point of holiday periods, because I do juggle work with studying, I do travel a lot for work, and so knowing when my semester breaks or mid-semester breaks are super helpful for me when I'm planning out my travel for the year. And so I already know during mid-semester break I do want to go somewhere, and also during semester break I do want to go somewhere. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you are a frequent traveler and if you want to plan things out in advance. On to my second part, and my favorite part. This is the part where you stay accountable and you stay diligent throughout the semester. What I like to do is I prepare myself for success. Sometimes I don't necessarily stick to this, but because I already have the asset there, I have my accountability tracker there, it makes me more inclined to stay accountable and stay on top of things, because I have a very satisfying kind of habit tracker kind of thing to do with your classes. So pretty much what I've been doing every single year is I have an accountability tracker for each semester. I have a separate page for each subject. I used to use Excel for this, but this year I've upgraded and I'm going to be doing it on Notion. I have left my Notion template in the description box below. This is not sponsored, but Notion is honestly so amazing for when you want to stay organized and you also want things to look very aesthetic and very clean. So let's jump into the Notion tour. So here we have my very generic back to uni accountability tracker. My personal Notion looks a lot cuter than this, but this is just a generic one for you guys to be able to customize accordingly. So if we click into my accountability tracker template, what I have is I will create a new version for each new course that I'm taking. This semester I've got 3 final units to take, so I'll create 3 different accountability trackers. So let me just create an example. So I have my real property accountability tracker here. This is not the exact course, but pretty much what I have is I have a column for tags, so it's either a class, assessment, or a break period. The details, so details is usually the week, the topic name, the weighting of any exams, the date of the class, any specific notes. For example, if I'm on call or if I have to participate in that class, I'll note that down. And then what I have here is I have the different things I want to get done for each class or each topic. So I'll have my summary notes done, have I attended class, have I done my scaffold. So scaffolds are specific to law students, and also is my understanding good or is it bad. I also have one sneaky thing that I do is that at the bottom of the class column, because I have 70% attendance, I've just done this percentage tracker to see how well my attendance has been and how many classes I can skip. And so that's pretty much the accountability tracker. It's helped me so much. I have a view for assessments, and I also have a view for classes and topics just to make it a bit more concise. And what I have at the top here is I have a link to my unit of study outline, and so that is I have a link to my unit of study outline. I also have a link to my reading guide, but this is again law student specific, because a reading guide is pretty much a document where all the cases that you have to read, all the supplementary readings, and any other textbooks that you have to read. My law school lists everything out very clearly, so I just have that link there for convenience, and just general things such as class times and the my tutor's email. Obviously it's not Vanessa, but as an example. And so now onto the generic template that I have for you guys. This is very general, and of course not everyone's university schedule is going to be the same. I know science students have a lot more practicals than law students do. Some of you guys don't have weekly classes, so feel free to create a copy and customize this accordingly, but it is in the exact same structure. The practical guide that I showed you before just helps you to visualize it a bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much my accountability tracker. It's so helpful. It's so satisfying when you start seeing everything being green or things starting to fill in. It's so satisfying, and it's just helped me to stay accountable and on top of things throughout the semester, despite being really busy with life and work as well. Now onto the third and final part is filing and staying organized on top of your notes. At the start of every semester, what I like to do is I create a fresh new folder. I just call it Law Semester 1 2023, and I create separate folders for each class that I'm taking. And so I'll take you guys through another screen recording of this because I feel like it'll be much easier if I kind of visualize it for you guys. And so now we have my final semester law folder. As you can see here, I have separate folders for each of my courses, and within those folders I have a set of notes for my law scaffolds, a set of summary notes, and a set of tutorial notes. I have a generic note template that I've pretty much just used throughout my whole law degree. The reason why I have 3 separate sets of notes instead of just one collated set of notes is because I just find it so much easier to compartmentalize and separate different types of learning. So for example, in tutorials, the learning is much more discussion based, and not a lot of that discussion is always relevant to exams, because in law exams it's mostly problem questions. And because of that, I have a separate set of notes for tutorials. And for summary notes, that consists of my general textbook readings and also my lecture notes. And then for law students specifically, law scaffolds are extremely important for when you're answering problem questions. So at the end of every week or the end of every fortnight, what I do is I look at my summary notes and my tutorial notes, and I put together the order of legal principles that makes the most sense for that specific topic. I'm sure law students will understand this. And so I do have the 3 separate sets of notes. I used to condense everything into one, but it just got way too long and way too laggy, and it wasn't really functional for me. Now I'm just going to do a quick overview of my generic note template and how I like to structure things out. And so for me, because law is a very content heavy, I do like to have things very clear. So I do already have a layout for headings and subheadings and everything like that, and a little generic table for cases and case summaries. The reason why this whole process works really well for me is because in a general topic, usually for law school, you have so many other subtopics and more subtopics. And so numbering them by like topic 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.2.1, and it works really well, especially when you're answering a problem question. I will leave a link to this in the description box below, but I feel like this template is quite specific to law students. And so moving forward, this is a general tip for all students, but what I like to do is I look at my unit of study outline, or I look at my accountability tracker where I've already written down every single one of the topics that I'm going to be learning for this particular course. I go in and I update this within the topics of my notes. And so doing this has helped me to be prepared ahead of lectures and ahead of tutorials. So even if you didn't do the pre-readings, even if you have no clue what is going on, you'll open your laptop and you'll go to, for example, week 6. And then you already have the name of the topic there. You already have the subtopics within the unit of study outline there. And so it's so much easier to follow along instead of having a blank page and a fresh slate and you actually have no clue what is going on. So it's really been helpful for me when I'm kind of lagging behind because work's gotten too busy, and it has kind of just helped me stay on top of things. I do cross-reference a lot to my accountability tracker during the semester, so I know, for example, if I've missed a certain class, I need to go back and learn that content for finals. So that is everything that I do to prepare for a fresh new semester. I really hope that you guys found this video helpful. I'm going to be documenting my whole semester and all my productivity tips and everything. Honestly, I can't believe it's my last one. So if you did like this video, please subscribe and stay tuned for future videos because there's going to be a lot. Best of luck for the new semester, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!